everybody, and welcome to Tomato Gems. After our last video about tiramisu, which you can find linked below in the description if you're interested, today we're back with another classic recipe for you, which is also perfect for summer. It's a cold seafood appetizer that is very simple to prepare: octopus and potatoes. It's certainly not one of the most famous or iconic dishes of Italian cuisine, especially since there's no real history behind its origins. But that doesn't mean it should be underestimated, because this recipe embodies the spirit and simplicity of Mediterranean cuisine, which is a signature of our country. Without further delay, let's start by listing all the main ingredients you'll need: a whole defrosted octopus, yellow fleshed potatoes, fresh parsley, 1 lemon, and extra virgin olive oil. In addition, you'll need various aromatics, which you can choose based on your preferences. But just remember, the beauty of this dish lies in the simplicity of its ingredients. For example, we'll be using carrots, onion, black peppercorns, and fresh bay leaves. The first step of this recipe is to prepare a simple aromatic broth, which will be used to cook the octopus. Nothing too complicated here. Start by peeling and cleaning the vegetables and the herbs you've chosen. Then, pour cold water into a large enough pot, about 2 liters or more, add your ingredients and bring everything to a boil over high heat. While you're waiting, focus on the octopus. If it hasn't already been cleaned, you'll need to remove the inedible parts before cooking it, which are the guts, the eyes, and the beak. In our case, the head of the octopus, where the guts are located, has already been emptied and cleaned. So, we're going to finish the work by using a knife to remove the eyes and the beak, found at the base of the tentacles. Here's some fun facts. Did you know the suckers on the tentacles can also be an index of freshness? In fact, the fresher the octopus, the better the sucker's thickness to surfaces will be. They also help us distinguish an octopus from its close relative, the musky octopus. The difference is in the numbers of rows. As you can see, each octopus tentacle has 2 rows of suckers, while the musky octopus has just 1. We've now reached the most critical step of the entire recipe: cooking the octopus. Your goal is to boil it just enough to get a tender texture that's pleasant to eat. The challenge is that there's no universal method. The main risk is overcooking it, which makes the octopus rubbery or tough. To avoid this, here's a big tip. The easiest way to get a tender octopus is to use a defrosted product, as we mentioned earlier in the ingredients list. During freezing, in fact, the water inside the octopus will expand and break down the muscle fibers, making it more tender without damaging the product. So, you can either buy a pre-frozen or already defrosted octopus, or buy it fresh and freeze it yourself, just like we did. Remember that you'll need to let it defrost in the fridge for at least 24 hours before preparing. Back to the recipe. When the broth reaches a boil, add coarse salt and dip the octopus tentacles several times to make them curl. Then, fully submerge it inside the pot, cover everything with a lid and lower the heat to a simmer. Cooking time depends on the size of the octopus. As a general rule, 1 kilogram of octopus requires about 30 minutes of cooking, so you can adjust the time with a simple proportion. After that, turn off the heat and let the octopus rest in its broth for another 30 minutes. This helps prevent the skin from cracking and tearing off the body. During these previous stages, you can focus on the second key ingredient: potatoes. We're using early potatoes, a typical variety of this season and ideal for the type of cooking we'll be doing. First, grab another pot, fill it with water and bring it to a boil. While waiting, peel the potatoes and cut them into small and even cubes. To get a good final balance between the ingredients, we recommend using about 200 grams less potatoes than the original weight of the octopus, since this will shrink during cooking. When the water is boiling, add salt and pour in the diced potatoes, being careful not to burn yourselves. Cooking time will also vary here, depending on the size and uniformity of the cubes. To check if they're ready, pierce them with a fork. If it goes through easily, they're done. Drain gently and let them cool down at room temperature. While the octopus and potatoes cool down, we'll prepare the main dressing for the dish. Start by cutting a lemon in half and squeeze both parts using a simple citrus juicer. Pour the juice into a container and add about an equal amount of extra virgin olive oil. As you'll notice, the two liquids have different densities and will form separate layers. To finish, you'll need to emulsify them. Just whisk with a fork, or, if you're using a closable container, shake it for about 30 seconds. Repeat if the liquids tend to separate again. After the 30 minutes resting period, drain the octopus from the broth and let it cool down for a few more minutes. Then cut into bite-sized pieces, first separating the tentacles from the body to make things easier. Now it's finally time to assemble the dish. In a bowl, combine the chopped octopus and diced potatoes, and add the lemon and olive dressing to taste. To finish off, chop some fresh parsley, sprinkle it over for color and aroma, and gently mix everything together. Your octopus salad is now ready to enjoy, but we recommend letting it chill in the fridge for a couple of hours first. This helps the flavors and aromas to blend together beautifully. And that's all, folks! With this seafood dish, we hope we've given you a taste of summer. As always, let us know in the comments if you enjoyed the video and if you'll try making the recipe at home. See you at the next gem.